Since you guys loved it the first time, the lake, so beautiful, so peaceful, so it would be silver and blue. Oh gosh, seriously, a lot of you guys really seem to like when I did the narrator from SpongeBob. I don't know if I'm gonna make a habit out of it necessarily, but I'm glad you guys found something about me you like, I guess. So, first and foremost, happy 4th of July, everyone. And, well, actually, I was going to say, I don't really have any red, white, and blue on, but, like, my face is beat red after having worked out and showered. And believe it or not, I'm still really sweaty. It's the humidity, guys. I mean, when you work out in hot weather, even after you shower, you're still going to be kind of sweaty. Although it does feel nice right now. Like, there isn't, like, any wind, but there's a very, very, very slight gentle breeze that's showing up on occasion, and it's like cooling me down. Like, the inside of my body and like the slight outside of me is like hot, but around me it's just cool enough to bring me like to a neutral temperature. I'd say like, I don't know, maybe somewhere in the 80s, I guess, which you think is hot, but really it isn't. Especially when you consider the fact that most of the human body is water. Water is a very high specific heat, so 80 degrees of water really doesn't feel as warm as you think it does. So let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Foremost, yesterday it rained. Quite a lot, in fact. In fact, I was legit worried not many people are going to show up to come up here for 4th. I mean, this is 4th of July. It's the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, everyone. You know, it's awesome. In fact, you know what? USA, USA, USA. I don't know if you can tell, but that's a flag. I don't know if you can tell. So I was legit worried most people wouldn't be coming up here. But when my father and I went to dinner last night, we went to a place called Burgers and Beer in Hammondsport, and there's something I want to clear the air on about that. Oh shoot. I just realized, like, I'm supposed to be looking up today's Hot Ones guest. And I have no idea who that is. I'll figure it out tomorrow. I mean, I don't want to go back inside because, seriously, it's beautiful out here. The gray sky may tell you otherwise, but trust me, it is gorgeous up here. I love it when the silver is contrasting with the blue and green. Oh, it's the best. And the white, oh, it's totally the best. Love it. It's so peaceful up here, guys. Like, yeah, you occasionally hear like a boat, and maybe sometimes you hear like some fishermen go by. But honestly, listen. That's the sound of nature. It's so awesome. Okay. So we go to Hammondsport and we drive by Timberstone. Yes, the Timberstone. We weren't planning on there for dinner. Again, we went to Burgers and Beer. I'll talk about that in a second. And surprisingly, Timberstone was pretty packed. At least the outside was. I mean, at Timberstone, you have the option of choosing between eating inside or eating outside. Normally, we eat inside because my mom makes us do it. Plus, it really is, you really are better off eating dinner inside. I mean, eating dinner outside is like a special occasion type scenario. You know what I mean? Like, if you eat outside, you risk like the wind blowing your food away. Maybe bugs or birds can fly around you and snatch your food when you're not looking, stuff like that. So eating dinner inside, even though it's a bit old-fashioned, it's the better option for a reason, guys. I mean, let's be real here. But from what we saw, Timberstone looked like it was packed. So I guess people came up here before the weather came. That would make a lot of sense, I suppose. But let's see. That was my low was the fact it rained. My high was, I should probably get into what my high is. Basically, my high was seeing various places in Hammondsport that are local getting a lot of business in spite of like the inclement weather. I mean, the weather got to be so crazy that the Swits had to cancel their live entertainment that was supposed to be playing outside because of the weather. They still had a DJ last night, and I totally went to go check it out. But, like, from like 5 to 8, they have like live music. They couldn't do that. So, again, that's how crazy the weather was. I'm not entirely sure if it's supposed to rain today, but if it does, I won't be surprised. And if it doesn't, you know, listen, regardless of whether it rains or not, I'm going to be enjoying my time up here anyway. I mean, my brother, his wife, and my nephews, they should be coming up in about, they should be coming up soon. I was a bit surprised. I kind of thought they would have beat me up here yesterday, but they never came up at all. Especially when my mom made a big deal that they were coming from Connecticut to visit my sister-in-law's parents. You know, my brother's wife, sister-in-law. I use those interchangeably for those who don't know. And, like, my mom made a big deal that they were going to be coming up Sunday night. I thought they beat me here yesterday, but it turns out they didn't. Okay. Guess it's just one of those things, right? So, I would have said that my act of kindness was to water all the flowers, but considering how much it rained, and considering how wet the ground still is, I really didn't need to water. In fact, I didn't really need to do much up here at all. Just, I guess, to make sure that everything was safe when I got up here, I suppose. Which it is. Do I really have an act of kindness at all? Well, I guess if someone told me to do something, I did it. I mean, I would have done it regardless, I guess. Man, I don't really have much of an act of kindness, do I? Well, I guess for the sake of my dad, I stayed safe up here and made sure everything was safe up here. I did that. So, yeah, that works. So, right. I was about to talk about Burgers and Beer. For those of you who don't know, Burgers and Beer is a restaurant that was established a few years back. I'd say around 2015, I think it was. So somewhere around the mid-2010s. And in the town of Hammondsport, it grew very quickly in popularity. In fact, it grew to be so popular in Steuben that the people of Steuben County wanted another location to be set up in the city of Corning, specifically on Market Street. In fact, it's actually like 2 doors down from Storges, which is the place that my family and I go to a lot. Now, one thing you need to understand about Burgers and Beer, obviously I didn't grow up with Burgers and Beer, so I don't really quite consider that one of the 13. However, I will acknowledge it is very good. And the food is definitely, you know, it's burgers, you know, it's a burger joint. It's a very good burger joint, and it makes burgers very well. It does. I will acknowledge that. It's very good. I mean, when it comes to places it's not chains, well, actually, no, technically, because it has 2 locations, Burgers and Beer is a chain. Huh. Well, I was going to say it's on my Mount Rushmore of burger places that isn't a chain, but technically it is a chain. But make no mistake, Burgers and Beer is really good. As of late, however, Burgers and Beer has been getting slammed on social media. Like, really slammed on social media. Not that the food they have is necessarily bad, because I haven't heard any comments about the food being bad. But what I have heard is the service isn't all that great. And the food, while it doesn't taste bad, it's incredibly expensive. Like, I think someone posted, like, it's like $22 a burger or something at Burgers and Beer. And keep in mind, the vast majority of these comments are really referring to the Burgers and Beer location in Corning rather than in Hammondsport, which is where the original location is. Now, as of this video, I've yet to go to the Burgers and Beer in Corning. So I can't quite really determine if any of this is true. But what I can tell you that in Hammondsport, when my father and I went there for dinner last night, it wasn't bad. The pricing, I mean, really was not that bad. In fact, full disclosure, we spent more money when we ordered dinner from Five Guys than we did at Burgers and Beer, if you can believe it. I mean, there's a few reasons for that. I mean, usually my mom is with us and she'll get a milkshake at Five Guys, so that definitely adds to it a little bit. But when it's just my father and I, all we got was, we each got a burger and we split a side of onion petals. And that was about it. Nothing else. Actually, I don't think I even heard what the price we paid was. I do know that, again, it's probably less than we would have spent at Five Guys. So, at least when it comes to the Hammondsport location, I really do not know where all the hatred is coming from. I don't know where the bad press is coming from, at least for the Hammondsport location. Now, again, I've yet to go to Corning, so maybe the pricing there is different, because even though Hammondsport was voted the coolest city in America, not once but twice, I believe, Corning is still a much bigger, much more well-known city. In large part because of Corning Incorporated, the Smithsonian Museum of Western Art, of course CMOG, aka the Corning Museum of Glass. Corning is a much bigger city. And with a much bigger populace, more people are going to show up. And when more people show up, I guess it's okay to jack up prices. But $22 a burger, I find that very hard to believe. Even in Corning. Now, the only logical explanation I can see for that, and keep in mind, I've yet to go to Corning, but if there was ever a logical explanation, it would have to fall on the fact, like, if you're going to the Burgers and Beer in Corning, and obviously you're going to be going there for dinner, chances are you're not just going to be getting a burger. You're going to be getting a side or two. And chances are you're also, provided that you're of age, you're also going to be supplementing it with alcohol, probably a beer of some kind. Now, a burger, sides, and beer, that is easily $22, for sure. Now, granted, that's the only explanation that I myself can come up with. I'm sure there's probably, deeper. I'm sure there's probably something deeper I'm not really seeing. Although that does remind me, back when Gordon Ramsay was on Hot Ones, one of Sean Evans' questions regarding is the whole pricing involving restaurants. And technically, Burgers and Beer is located on an apartment building, complete with like landlord and everything, complete with like a landlord and stuff. And when it comes to pricing, you have to factor in both rent and labor. And obviously, the better that, your restaurant does, the easier it is to make rent. However, your landlord will jack up the rent. If your business is not doing very well, you struggle to pay the rent, and chances are your landlord may increase the price of rent anyway. So, sadly, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. And again, there's also labor. I mean, obviously, it takes several people. It takes more than just one person to, like, run an establishment. I wouldn't be surprised if, at a time, especially for Corning's location, you probably have no less than 10 people working the grill, waitressing, doing all that stuff. So, I'm sure maybe it's also location as well. But it's not like because it's not like Burgers and Beer is taking like really expensive ingredients like gold leaf or caviar or uni or foie gras and putting that on a burger. They're certainly not doing that. I mean, there are some places that'll put those things on a burger just to get you like $100 to the $100 mark, which if you're spending $100 on a burger, then there's something seriously wrong with you. Like, the burger that I wound up getting, I believe was $12.35. I just got a bacon cheeseburger. And the burger that my father got was like 11 something. So, he got the mushroom Swiss burger. I got the bacon cheeseburger. And it's not like it was just a simple burger. Like it was our burgers, and we got lettuce, tomato, onion, pickles. And one cool thing about Burgers and Beer, I don't think that gets enough credit, at least the one in Hammondsport, there's a legit condiment dispensary. There's like one for ketchup, one for yellow mustard, one for honey mustard, one for mayonnaise, one for ranch, one for relish. Like, dude, Burgers and Beer knows how to do it up. Like, you can, like, mix and match condiments and stuff like that. It's awesome. I think there's even one for cocktail, too. If you order, like, the fish fry and get, like, fried shrimp. I've actually had the fried shrimp and the fish fry from Burgers and Beer. That was good. I definitely would at least recommend getting fish fry and, you know, and or fried shrimp. I know, from a burger joint. Crazy, right? But, again, if you're spending $22 at a place like Burgers and Beer, the only logical explanations I can come up with is the fact that you're in a much bigger city, because Corning, for all intents and purposes, is a much bigger area than Hammondsport is. You have to factor in rent and labor in said city. And, you know, there's also a logical explanation. People just don't know how to spend wisely. And so you're not only just getting a burger, but you're getting a side or two, as well as you're probably getting a beer. Again, it's burgers and beer, so I guess it would make sense to, you know, have that. But, again, it's probably a combination of all those factors, if we're being honest, but that's just my theory. But, okay, that's enough about why it's like $22 a burger there at Burgers and Beer, at least in Corning. How was it? It was good. I mean, full disclosure, Hammondsport is the original location, so it's probably no surprise that they probably do it better than the Corning location. So, if you really do like Burgers and Beer but didn't care for the experience in Corning, and if you actually want to swing making the trek up to Hammondsport, give the one in Hammondsport a try. At least give it that chance. I mean, the one thing about my burger that I didn't necessarily care for, the burger was kind of small. Like, really small. Oh, not really. I mean, I think, what size burger could I compare it to? I think the best comparison I can make is probably Elbow Room for, in terms of the size, because I've had a burger at Elbow Room before, and I thought that burger was particularly small. But this is probably around the same size, and come on, I need more than one burger of that size to, you know, satiate me. But, again, try Burgers and Beer in Hammondsport. If you didn't like Corning, give the one in Hammondsport a try. You know, again, if nothing else, you're at least supporting local. And that's important. Speaking of local, the local view up here is amazing. Happy 4th of July, everyone. I hope you liked this video. If you did, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow me. For me, as always, I'm very helping this video for all you guys watching. Enjoy today. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Happy 4th of July, everyone. USA, USA, USA. And remember, if you guys want to talk, channel, we're here to lend you. I'll right back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.